I've been given the responsibility to organize the National Business Conference organized by Business Botswana. And this is an event that happens every 2 years. And this time around, we are hosting the 15th NBC. And as is customary, the NBC is traditionally held in Francistown, and we have decided that for this year, we will hold it in Francistown as well. And the reason really is, to be able to just give our business partners, our business members in the northern part of the country, the opportunity for them as well to have the benefit of, hosting an important event like the NBC. I suppose one could then ask, what is the NBC all about? It's really an event that intends to get the business community together to deliberate on, important issues that affect the private sector, but more importantly, to also partner with government. And, government is a key partner insofar as business is concerned, to partner with government and to discuss various issues that affect both government as well as the business community insofar as economic development of the country is concerned. So that is really the key intention of the NBC and what it is that we would like to achieve through that. So typically what happens is, Business Botswana will look at a particular theme whenever it is that they host the NBC. And as the organizing committee, this time around, we really felt that it was important to focus the NBC on, critical issues that are facing the country at the moment, especially in the long term. And as we all know, we have a Vision 2036, which is our guiding strategy and aspiration for the country in terms of, how it is that the country is going to progress. Vision 2036 is about prosperity for all. And in terms of achieving that prosperity for all, what we have done as the NBC is we have decided to focus on the first pillar. And the first pillar looks at sustainable economic development. And in terms of that sustainable economic development, there's a particular aspiration where the country would like to move from the current status of upper middle income to a high income economy. And it's not a small step that the country would undertake. It's a very massive step. It is a step that requires a lot of transformation. And it's for that reason that it's something that's actually going to be achieved over quite a long period of time. And we felt that it's important that we get Botswana, and in particular the business community, to actually, in the first place, appreciate what Vision 2036 is all about. We can't just assume that we all know what it is, and it's for that reason that we've asked His Excellency the President to actually talk to us as part of his opening address, to have a conversation with us and to say to us as the business community, what are his aspirations as the president of the country? What is it that he would like this country to achieve? And where does he want us to be by 2036? We're particularly excited that, we've got this session with the president, which we call Conversations with the President, or A Conversation with the President. And the whole reason for this conversation is actually to be able to, draw out these key aspirations, draw out this vision, and draw out this picture of where Botswana is going to be by 2036. So that is a particular attraction insofar as this year is concerned. But obviously there are other players over and above His Excellency the President. We also have our key partner in government, being the Minister of Investment, Trade and Industry. And she will also be on stage. She will also be talking to us about the strategy of the ministry, and in particular, what it is that she believes needs to be done for government and the private sector to partner together in order to achieve the vision. we have decided that we would like to learn from other countries. And in terms of learning from other countries, we have actually got somebody that's going to be coming in from Switzerland who's going to be talking to us. There's somebody that's going to be coming from Estonia that are also going to be talking to us about the journey that they embarked upon to get to high income. Once we've done that, we will also be listening to a success story in Botswana of a business person in Botswana who not just runs a business in Botswana but runs a business across the world. And basically those are the kinds of things that we want to be able to hear, we want to be able to align with, so that as we make our leap into high income Botswana, those are the areas that we understand, and those are the areas that we can then prepare to play in. We also recognize that we've got Botswana that work internationally, and there's a section where we call Botswana in the diaspora. There's a whole lot of Botswana out there that are achieving a whole lot of things, and obviously, given the time constraints that we have, we could not bring everybody, but we've got a couple of them that are just going to share their stories as Botswana, and getting to understand what it is that the country intends to do. What is it that they feel we need to do as a country? The significance of the first day is that, at the end of that day, having had the president, having had the minister, having had the success stories, as the business community, we actually just need to sit back and we need to say, so what is our stake in the ground going to be? So here is the country. The country is aspiring to get to high income by 2036. Clearly, as the business community, we should be looking to have an aspiration that is better than the country. If we are going to propel economic growth and economic development in the country, then we really need to try and help the country to get there even before 2036. So my hope and my prayer is that at the end of that day, the business community will stand up and will say, you know what, collectively as the private sector, we actually believe that we can help the country to get there before 2036. It would be nice if we could get there by 2030, but it's not for me to determine what the business community is going to say. The second day is really about, so what needs to be true for us to get there. So here we are on the first day. We've agreed on this aspiration where we want to help the country to get there. On the second day, it's around what is it that we need to do in order to get there. And again, we also recognize that there are a whole lot of things that can be done. But what we have done is we've decided to focus on competitiveness, international competitiveness. We've decided to do a topic on knowledge-based economy. We've decided to do a topic on development of small, medium businesses. And as we know, these are very critical in the development of any country. And there's a section that we're putting on at the end where we actually want to feature young Botswana talent. We know that there are young Botswana out there that are doing great things, and some of them may not actually be known to many of us. And really, in terms of that section, which we call innovation, we're basically looking to identify, we've got a couple of them, and we're going to put them on stage and actually just get them to tell their story about what it is that they have done from an innovation perspective, how they have succeeded, and how they can then encourage other younger Botswana to also propel in the same direction. So I suppose the question that one could ask is, how is NBC helping to reform the business landscape? What are the benefits of attending this conference, whether you're attending as an individual business person or as part of an organization? And I think it's important to just underscore that the NBC is part of the bigger entity called Business Botswana. And the reason Business Botswana exists is to advocate for the business sector, to advocate for the private sector, to make sure that the private sector actually plays the role that it needs to play in terms of development of this country. That the private sector engages the relevant stakeholders, whether it's government, whether it's NGOs, or any other stakeholders that are required on this journey of economic development. And that is really what members and the rest of the private sector should expect from Business Botswana. And there are a whole host of things that Business Botswana does. The NBC is just one of a number of those things. And really, we're expecting that through the NBC, we're able to give delegates the opportunity to listen to prominent speakers, the opportunity to listen to speakers that come from outside of Botswana, to be able to share their perspectives. And it's not everybody that has that sort of benefit to be able to just, in a space of 2 days, get the benefit of listening to both prominent local as well as international speakers. So that is really what we are bringing to the business community. But I think I also just need to underscore that at the end of the NBC, we have resolutions. So it's not just a case of we get there, we sit down, we talk, we listen to speakers. We actually have an implementation roadmap at the end where we have resolutions and we say, from now on, this is what we are going to do. But not only that, when we get to the next NBC, we also look at the resolutions of the previous NBC. We look at them, we see what it is that we have done, how we have succeeded, where it is that we have failed, and what it is that we need to do to get back on track. And that's exactly what is going to happen. So what I'd like to do is at the end of this session, just acknowledge the sponsors that are supporting us at this year's NBC. But I think it's also worthwhile to mention that they have been supporting us over the years. And in no order of significance, the first one is the Ministry of Trade and Industry. They have been there with us. They are still with us this year. The Botswana Diamond Company, similarly, have been supporting us over the years. They're supporting us this year. The same with the Bank of Botswana, and also finally the same with First National Bank. And it's important to recognize the people that support us through thick and thin, and for that we are very grateful for the partnership that we have with them. My very last word is to the rest of the business community, whether it is individuals or whether it is corporates. As Business Botswana, as NBC, we really do need that support, because it is through this support that we survive. Undertaking a conference of this nature is very expensive, and with Business Botswana not having money of its own, we actually depend on the support of the members to be able to do that. And I would really appeal to the members out there, those that have not registered, to register so that we can host the successful conference that we would like it to be. Thank you.